Try to draw the universe, not as a masterpiece, not as a scientific diagram, just a simple doodle, a circle for Earth, a bigger circle for the Sun, maybe a few planets, some stars, a spiral galaxy in the corner. And already your drawing is lying. That is the first problem with the universe. The moment you make it understandable, you make it wrong. If the Sun is the size of a basketball, Earth is not a cute blue marble sitting nearby. Earth is a tiny dot, far away, easy to lose, almost rude in how small it is. And if you draw Earth big enough to see, then the distance is fake. So you try again. You draw the Sun, then you put Earth far away, much farther. Farther than feels reasonable, farther than looks good on paper. Now your page is mostly empty. Congratulations. This is the first honest thing your doodle has done. Because space is not packed with planets like a family photo. School posters have been protecting us from boredom for years. They put Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn in a neat little lineup, like they all showed up early for picture day. In reality, the solar system is mostly nothing. A few rocks, some gas giants, icy leftovers, dust, radiation, and huge stretches of empty space where absolutely no dramatic space adventure is happening. If your drawing looks exciting, you probably compressed the boring part. But okay, let's zoom out. Now the Sun disappears. The whole solar system becomes a speck inside the Milky Way, a giant, flattened, spinning structure with hundreds of billions of stars. At this point, your doodle has a new problem. Every important thing is now too small to draw. Earth is gone. The Sun is gone. Your entire neighborhood of space is gone. You draw a spiral galaxy and put a tiny arrow on one of the arms. You are here, which is basically the cosmic version of saying, my apartment is somewhere on that continent. But even that galaxy is not the universe. So you zoom out again. Now the Milky Way is just one dot, and not even a special dot. There are other galaxies, then more, then clusters of galaxies, then superclusters, then long threads and empty gaps, like someone spilled ink across the dark and called it structure. At the largest scales, the universe does not look like a painting. It looks like a nervous spider tried to make a map. Dots connected by thin lines, bright knots, huge empty spaces. A cosmic web so large that even galaxies become texture. So now your doodle is no longer planets, stars, or beautiful spirals. It is dots, then dust, then a weird scribble with a label that says, large-scale structure, which is a very serious scientific way to say, I promise this mess means something. But space is only half the problem. The other half is time. When you look at the moon, you see it as it was just over a second ago. When you look at the Sun, you see it as it was about 8 minutes ago. When you look at distant stars, you see years into the past. When you look at distant galaxies, you may be looking back millions or billions of years. So your doodle is not just a map of where things are, it is a map of when their light left. You are not drawing the universe as it is right now. You are drawing a stack of old messages that arrived at different speeds from different distances. The night sky is not a live broadcast. It is a delayed recording, played in every direction at once. And that makes the doodle even stranger. Because when you draw a galaxy far away, you are not drawing its current face. You are drawing its memory. You are sketching ancient light that traveled across emptiness long before anyone was around to give it a name. At this point, the honest drawing of the universe becomes almost insulting. A mostly blank page, a few dots, some lines, a spiral that is not to scale, a giant arrow pointing at one microscopic mistake labeled, "You are here," and somewhere in the corner, a desperate note, "Please do not measure this." But maybe that is exactly why doodles matter. A perfect drawing of the universe is impossible. The scale is too large, the distances are too empty, the time is too deep. The objects are too many. The page loses before the pencil even touches it. So we cheat. We use circles for planets, dots for stars, swirls for galaxies, arrows for location, lines for gravity, little labels for ideas our brains cannot hold directly. And somehow, these ridiculous marks work. A bad spiral can help us imagine a galaxy. A few dots can suggest a cluster. A blank space can finally show us what space actually is. A tiny arrow can remind us that everything we have ever built, feared, loved, named, lost, or worried about happened on one nearly invisible speck. That is the strange power of a doodle. It does not capture the universe. It gives your brain a handle. Because the universe is not too complicated only because it is full of stuff. It is complicated because it is full of almost nothing, and that nothing is enormous. So try to draw the universe. You will fail immediately. Your planets will be too close. Your stars will be too big. Your galaxy will be too neat. Your empty space will not be empty enough. Your timeline will pretend everything is happening at once. But keep the doodle, because for a creature stuck on one tiny dot, drawing bad circles on paper might be one of the most impressive things we do. We take something almost infinite and turn it into a scribble we can point at.